It's back some. What's up, family? Man, adjust the camera. We're going in today. We're going in today, man. We're going in. I want you guys to see this young lady behind me. She's part of the topic that we're going to be talking about later on. But, man, um, what's up, Thomas? How you doing? Man, I'm gonna give you guys a little bit. Come on in here. Man, I'm nervous. I'm nervous. We're going in today. It's gonna be heavy today. It's gonna be heavy today. So, man, what's up, babe? Man, pray for me. Pray for me. Man, on behalf of my mother-in-law, man, what's up, Jose? On behalf of my mother-in-law, may God bless each and every one of you that's on this live, that come on the live. For those of you that catch us later on the YouTube replay, may God bless you as well. We're going to go in today, family. Man, I'm nervous, so just pray for me. You know what I mean? Pray for me. I always say this at the end, man, and I'm compelled to say it throughout it. What's up, Scorpio lady? Man, if you have a prayer request and you want my wife and I to pray for you, we pray over you guys all the time. You know what I mean? Every night before we go to bed, we say a special prayer for all of you that's on the live, for all of you that come on, catch the replays on YouTube, and just all the subscribers. You know what I mean? We pray over you guys. And for those of you that leave a special prayer request, that's what we specifically ask God for. You know what I mean? I am always nervous, Scorpio lady, because it's the magnitude of the message. You know what I mean? It's the importance of the message that makes me nervous. That, man, I want to make sure that I'm saying what I'm supposed to say and that I deliver it in the manner in which God wants me to deliver it. You know what I mean? What's up, Kate? And so because of that, I'm nervous, you know what I mean? Because I want to make sure that I say what I'm supposed to say and deliver it the way that I'm supposed to deliver it. It's a lot of responsibility, you know what I mean? It's a lot of responsibility. And because of that, I get nervous. But man, once I get going and once, the flow starts flowing, the nervousness leaves, you know what I mean? That being said, man, pay attention to the signs. Pay attention to the signs. Again, we're going to go in today. We're going to go in today. There's a scripture, and I said a lot. Hosea chapter 4, verse 6 says, my people perish for a lack of knowledge. My people perish for a lack of knowledge. You know what I mean? And the verse goes on to say, because you reject knowledge, I, your God, will also reject you. I'm going to say that again. Hosea 4 and 6 says, my people perish for a lack of knowledge. And because you reject knowledge, I, your God, will also reject you. Man, family, that blew me away. And that just, man, how can God reject us? You know what I mean? And God rejects us not so much in that he turns his back on us. He hears us, but we're not in line with him. We're not in tune with him. And so we do all these get talking, and we say we're doing all this praying and we're connected to God, and we're really not, because we don't have an understanding who God is. We don't have a relationship with God. And so God ain't really entertaining all the stupid stuff that you talk about, all the stupid stuff that you preaching on, and all the stupid stuff you damning everybody to hell, and all the foolishness all these religious people talk and spew. God ain't really entertaining that crap. You know what I mean? They doing all this talking. They talk like they know God. They talk like they're connected to God. And God ain't listening to that crap. He hears them, but he ain't getting that. Them, they ain't got no credence. You know what I mean? They ain't got no clout with him. They ain't got no credibility to God. Stay with me. We're going somewhere. My people perish for a lack of knowledge. It's a trip because they say that George Washington had got sick, and way back in the day, they used to do this thing called bloodletting, and the doctors and all these physicians thought that, man, every time you got sick, what they would do is they would cut you and let you bleed out some. You know what I mean? Because they thought that, man, the blood would carry the diseases. The blood carried the diseases throughout the rest of your body, or the sicknesses or the ailments through the rest of your body. And so they believed that by cutting you and letting you bleed out some that, man, they were helping you heal. They were helping you get better. And it's the complete opposite, you know what I mean? But they didn't know that at the time. Stay with me. They didn't know that at the time. My people perish for a lack of knowledge. When you sit back and you think about all the people in the world that have been killed, all the people in the world that have been slaughtered because of our ignorance, because of our stupid beliefs. You sit back and you think about all the women that we labeled as witches because they had some knowledge and some understanding that the common man didn't have. And understand, way back in the day, women weren't supposed to be able to read. Women weren't supposed to be able to write. Why? Not because they couldn't handle reading, right? But because men wanted to keep, insecure guys, not men, insecure guys, insecure males, wanted to keep those women under their control, wanted to keep those women dumbed down, wanted to keep those women ignorant. You know what I mean? And so they wouldn't allow them to read. They wouldn't allow them to write. And so how could all these women know all the stuff that they knew? The only way that they could know that stuff was by being a witch. The only way they could know that stuff was, quote unquote, by evil spirits. Stay with me. My people perish for a lack of knowledge. And because these ignorant guys thought that, look at all the women that they labeled as witches. Look at all these women that were secure within themselves, that was deep thinkers, that were spiritually connected to God. All these women that use the natural herbs and the plants that God gave us for our ailments. And these women were burned at the cross. These women were drowned and labeled as witches because they were smarter than the guys, because they had more knowledge than the guys did at that time. My people perish for a lack of knowledge. You sit back and think about all the crusades and all these people, the Romans and all these other people that were going out on these massacres and killing people. And it's like, how do you expect to win people to God by saying, confess Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior, or we're going to chop your head off? You're not winning nobody that way. You know what I mean? You're not winning anybody that way. My people perish for a lack of knowledge. And so you sit back and you think about all these religious tyrants and all these crazy people that murdered people. And they thought they were doing the work of God. They thought they were doing God's work. Stay with me. And so, move forward. My people perish for a lack of knowledge. When you sit back, and not too long ago in America, women that had menopause, man, guys, and these doctors, these psychologists and psychiatrists were saying that these women had evil spirits because they were going through menopause. And because they would have these sadnesses and these different mood experiences, you know what I mean? Their emotions would shift throughout the day. And these people are saying, oh, that's the devil in you. And you got these evil spirits in you. And we're going to put you in a mental institution and all this crazy stuff. My people perish for a lack of knowledge. For a lack of knowledge. Look at all the crazy stuff that we believe. Look at all the hateful, destructive stuff that we believe. We believe it with every fiber of my being. We believe all this stupid stuff with every fiber of our being. Just because you believe something doesn't mean it's true. Just because you believe something doesn't mean it's right. Just because you believe something doesn't mean that it's godly. You could believe you're spiritual all you want to. Don't mean that you're spiritual. You could believe you woke, you're enlightened, and all this other stuff. Just because you believe that, just because you do all these doesn't mean that you're woke. Doesn't mean that you're enlightened. Doesn't mean that you're on the right path. Many of us have jumped in relationships that we shouldn't have jumped into, but we did it because of our emotions. We saw these red flags, but we pushed past those red flags. What's up, Karen? We saw these triggers, but we pushed past them and minimized them. And we jumped in these relationships, and they became toxic. God was showing us the whole time, this ain't the one for you. The whole time he was telling you, no. But because of your flesh, because you was lusting after this person, or because you thought that you could change this person, you thought you could help this person. What's up, Derek? You thought that this was the one, and they just needed some help. They just needed whatever you had to offer, and you could make them better. You tried to put on your Captain Save-A-Hole cape, and you came to their rescue, thought you was coming to their rescue, and they broke you down. That's a trip. God gave us all these signs, and we completely ignored them. Talking about pay attention to the signs. See, so many of us, we think we're so smart, we think we're so woke that, man, that don't mean what it means. That don't mean what it's saying. Years ago, I was working with this Hispanic elderly lady, and she gave me this picture right behind me. She gave me this picture of a Native American woman. And something about this picture just, man, it jumped out to me. Something about this picture just resonated with my being. Stay with me, I'm about to get heavy. She gave me this picture and she told me, this picture belongs to you. I don't know why it belongs to you, but this is your picture. This picture belongs to you. And at first I was offended. At first I was pissed off because she knew I was Native American, you know what I mean? And it's like, oh, how fucking racist, you know what I mean? That's what went through my head is, oh, because I'm Native American, I gotta like this picture. Oh, because I'm Native American, I gotta resonate with this woman. And whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop, yeah, just all the stupid stuff came to my head, right? And so as I'm sitting there, I take the picture out of just being nice, you know what I mean? But there's something about the picture that drew me to it. Something about the picture that just like, man, it felt home, but I didn't want to pay attention to it. Stay with me, I'm going somewhere. So I took the picture home, put it up, and didn't pay any attention to it. Didn't pay any attention to the picture at all. I knew it was there, but I didn't meditate on it. I knew it was there, but I didn't ask God, what was the symbol for this? I took it as this Hispanic lady was being racist, and because I'm Native American, she gave me this picture of this Native American girl and told me, oh, this belongs to you. So, move forward. I'm meditating years later, meditating, and just, I still got the picture, not paying any attention to it. I see the picture, but I don't see the picture. I see the signs, but I don't see them as signs. Stay with me. And so, fast forward. I grow up a lot more. I'm meditating. My meditation goes a lot deeper. I'm talking to God. And one day, I'm talking to this young lady on the phone. And as I'm looking at her, my mind goes back to this picture. And back up for a second. I don't even think about the picture. I pack up, move, leave a whole bunch of stuff in California. I move out to North Carolina, and for some reason, it's like I was compelled to bring this picture. All the artwork that I had that I left behind. All the stuff that I gotten from overseas in different countries and all this other stuff that I left behind. But for some reason, I was compelled to bring this picture with me. But I put it in storage when I moved to North Carolina along with the stuff that I brought with me. Now, I just happened to be on the phone. I believe I was on the phone with my queen. And I was going to the storage because I was looking for a picture of my mom. I was looking for a picture of my mom, and this picture jumped out to me. I wasn't looking for this picture. I totally forgot about this picture. I'm looking for a picture of my mom. And this young lady jumps out. And it hits me, oh my God. That's my queen. That's a younger version of my queen. Stay with me. Pay attention to the signs. See, so often God gives us signs and we completely ignore them because we're not paying attention to them. God gives us signs all the time. But because we're not connected to God, we don't see the signs. We don't recognize them as signs. We see these things as coincidences. We see these things as insignificant because we don't have a picture, the bigger picture. We can't see the bigger picture because we're not connected to God, and because of divine timing, it's not time for us to see the big picture yet. Stay with me. And so I'm talking to my queen, I'm like, man, look at this picture. And I send her a copy of the picture, and I tell her, man, I got this out of storage, and what to do. And I'm like, man, I see this young lady, and I feel connected to her. When I got the picture, there wasn't any real connection. I knew that there was something about the picture, but I didn't understand what it was. I didn't understand that this was my queen. I just saw the picture and felt a connection to her, but didn't know what it was. And so I dismissed it. Stay with me. I dismissed the picture because I didn't understand it. What's up, that guy from Texas? I'm talking about pay attention to the signs. I'm talking about getting in alignment with God and humbling ourselves so that we can understand and be connected and hear what He's telling us. And so I'm talking to her and I'm like, hey, wait a minute. I wear a lot of amber. And I'm looking at the picture. I have an amber ring and I have an amber pendant around my neck. And so I'm looking at the picture and her eyes are amber. Stay with me. I'm looking at the picture and I'm looking at my queen. It's like, dang, she got the same mouth, the same lips. She got the same facial features. And I'm tripping off this picture. I'm tripping off this picture because it's like, hold on, wait a minute. Now that I see my queen, I see my queen in this young lady. And so God had been telling me since I got this picture, this is who your queen is. And so often, so many of us, God has given us visions and dreams, and He's given us pictures of people to be in our lives, and we dismissed it for whatever reason. Because we didn't know the person. We didn't know what God was going to do. And so we dismissed the picture. Stay with me. And so, man, I'm sitting back and I'm looking at the picture and I'm looking at my queen and I'm like, God, what is this? And God is like, Elijah, I've been showing you this for the longest time. I've been showing you who your queen was for years, but you wasn't paying attention. Because you wasn't paying attention, you've been jumping in all these toxic ass relationships. Because you wasn't paying attention, you were entertaining all the wrong people. Because you wasn't paying attention. Elijah, had you been paying attention, look how much money you could have saved. Had you paying attention, look how much of your emotions and your feelings and all the chaos you've gone through, you wouldn't have had to go through that had you been paying attention. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh my God, oh my God. I was like, God, well, how come you didn't just speak it out clear? He said, Elijah, how many signs do I got to give you? He said, Elijah, look at the picture. So I'm looking at the picture. He said, what do you see? I said, God, I see this lady. I see these feathers. He said, Elijah, you have those same family. I kid you not. I wish I had on shorts on each of my calves. I have a picture I have a tattoo on each of my calves of a bear claw, and there's the exact same feathers on each of my calves. On one calf, I have the short feather. On the other calf, I have the longer feather. The exact same color, the exact same feathers on my calves. And I got these tattoos years ago. I had a Native American brother put these tattoos on me on the reservation, and each of these pictures of the calves represents each tribe that I come from. On my dad's side, I'm Cherokee Indian. On my mom's side, I'm Blackfoot Indian. And so the different tattoos represent the different tribes that I come from. That's within me. But I didn't understand the significance attached to this picture. I saw the feathers, but I never put two and two together. I saw the pictures, I saw the feathers, but it never dawned on me, man, those are the same feathers, the exact same feathers that I have tatted on my calves. Because I didn't pay attention to the signs. And so the other day, I'm sitting and I'm talking to my queen, and I said, hey, you know what? And we're sitting there looking at this picture. And I said, look at the picture. I said, she has your exact same nose from the side. When you look at her, your nose is the exact same. She's years younger, but look at the picture. Look at her nose. You guys have the identical nose, identical mouth, identical. And she's telling me, man, she got the same eyebrows as I do. And and we're going down to just the similarities. And so I show her the picture. I show her my calves. It's like, you never paid attention to my calves. I got the same feathers on my calves. And so she looks at my legs and so she calls her mom out and she's telling her mom, look at the picture, mom. And she's showing her mom my calves with the tattoos on them. And her mom is saying, wow, that's a mystery. That's mysterious. And her mom out of nowhere, man, you guys have the same nose. I just told my queen that they had the same nose from the side view. This picture's been hanging here since I came out here over a month ago. And her mom never said anything about the nose being the same. My queen never said anything about them having the identical nose. Why am I talking about this? Because we have to learn how to pay attention to the signs. We have to learn how to get connected to God. We won't make all the mistakes we're making if we're connected to God. We won't go down the wrong trails if we're connected to God. But unfortunately, so many of us, we think we know so much. Unfortunately, for so many, we think we got this figured out. We think we know what's in our best interest. We think because we're attracted to this person that, man, they're the one for me. Because we have this sexual attraction to this person, man, they're the one for me. Because we have this energetic connection with this person, they're the one for me. And that's not true. You could be attracted to somebody and they're not the one for you. You could be doing a good thing and it be the wrong thing for you. Let me say it again. You could be doing a good thing, but it be the wrong thing for you. You could have a good job, but it be the wrong job for you. You can have a nice career, but it be the wrong career for you. Just because you're doing something good, just because you're doing something nice, doesn't mean you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. Are you paying attention to the signs? Are you going down the wrong rabbit hole? Man, my people perish for a lack of knowledge. My people perish for a lack of knowledge. And God goes further. He says, because you turned your back on knowledge, I'll turn my back on you. And the trip is, man, you look at social media, man, there's so much crazy shit on social media. So much craziness on social media. And with the great media, man, we'll just disconnect from social media. We'll unplug from social media. And God is saying, no, that's not why I gave you guys social media. I didn't give you social media for you to become antisocial, for you to disconnect from it. I gave you social media because there's so much knowledge and wisdom and understanding on social media. You're paying attention to the bullshit. I'm saying it again. You're paying attention to the wrong stuff. You're distracted by the wrong stuff. You're entertaining the wrong stuff. Man, you have to have some self-discipline. You have to understand, man, I'm here for a purpose. Man, allow me to read. I remember as kids growing up, for us to read anything, because this is before social media, before the internet and all this other stuff, man, we had to go to the library to get books. And you had to know what books you had to get the knowledge and the wisdom, not wisdom, but the information from. You had to know the specific books to get the information from. You had to go look at encyclopedias and all these other books to get information. Now, all you gotta do is pick up your phone. Siri, what's da-da-da-da-da, or whatever the other people's name is on this other platform. You know what I mean? All you gotta do is ask a question and the information pops up at your fingertips. Get on YouTube, man, and type in whatever it is you wanna research. And you got all these videos and all this research and all this other stuff that other people have already put out there. They've already done the hard work. They've already done and given you the information. You just got to navigate through it. Being connected to God. God, where am I supposed to go? God, what information am I supposed to receive? And it's a trip to most of the people that come on this platform, man, they don't even understand why my videos popped up on their feed. They have no clue why my videos popped up on their channel that day. And it's the information that they need. It's the information that they were looking for. It's what they needed to hear at that specific time. And because they needed to hear it, man, they got the word that they needed for that day. They got the word that they needed. They helped them navigate through the depression, through the suicidal thoughts that they were dealing with at that time. Social media is not a bad thing. It only becomes bad when you're wasting time, and you're only wasting time when you're not connected to God and you're not paying attention to the signs. We have to grow up. We have to grow up. We have to understand that, man, you can't do this on your own. You can't navigate through this journey, through this life on your own, with your own wisdom, with your own insight. Because you made all the mistakes you did using your insight, using your logic. You thought this was the one for you, and you found out this bitch was crazy as fuck. You jumped in this relationship thinking he's the one, he's your king, and that motherfucker was abusive as hell, beating the shit out of you. We have to stop being so arrogant and narcissistic and thinking we got this figured out. And learn that, man, I gotta be connected to God. I gotta depend on the wisdom that God has, because God sees the bigger picture. Years ago, I was a single father, single parent, raising my two oldest kids. And I would come home after I feed them and, bathe them and got them situated, man, and got them in bed. I had a card table and I would sit downstairs. I was in the Air Force at the time and lived in LA. And I'll sit at the table and I had this big jigsaw puzzle. And I didn't understand it, but God got me doing jigsaw puzzles. And I thought that was the corniest thing ever. For a guy, I'm from the hood. A guy from the hood to be sitting there doing jigsaw puzzles. You know what I mean? That was so lame. But what God was showing me was Elijah is bigger than you. Elijah, I don't give a damn about your insecurities. I don't give a damn about your twisted thought process. I got you sitting here working on these jigsaw puzzles because I'm trying to teach you some things. I'm trying to give you some understanding. I'm trying to give you some insight. You got to get past your insecurities. You got to get past your male chauvinistic mentality. You got to get past your thoughts of what you think a man is. So I'm sitting there and I'm drinking some wine and I got some jazz playing in the background and I'm putting these jigsaw puzzles together. And what God was showing me was Elijah is bigger than you. It's bigger than you. Elijah, you're all connected. Elijah, it takes all of these little pieces of the puzzle to be connected in order for you to see the big picture. Elijah, you can't have the full insight until you have the big picture. Elijah, your limited thoughts are just a few pieces of the puzzle. It's not until the whole puzzle comes together that you're able to see the big picture and see how each piece of the puzzle fits perfectly together. Each of these pieces of the puzzle represents everybody's life, Elijah. Every one of you are connected to each other. You don't understand the connection. You can't see the connection until the puzzle's put together. And I don't care what piece of the puzzle you pull out and you discard. You pull any piece of the puzzle up and the whole picture is incomplete. Every piece of the puzzle is just as important as every other piece of the puzzle. There is no big piece of the puzzle. They're all significant. They're all important. Every piece of the signs that God give us, they're all valuable. They're all important. The problem is we're not paying attention because we're distracted. We're not paying attention because we're lonely. We're not paying attention because we're frustrated. We're not paying attention because we're mad and we're bitter and we're ungrateful and we're resentful for all the hell that we've gone through. We're not paying attention because we're paying attention to everybody else. We're more focused on what all these other people are talking about. Because we put their value, we put their opinions above that of God. All the people that's saying all this crazy stuff to us, all the people that's putting on social media with all the you got to do this and you got to do this. All these people, we value their opinions more than we value the wisdom and the insight and the knowledge from God. And it's a trip because only God sees the full picture. Only God is omniscient. Only God is omnipresent. Only God is omnipotent. God is all-knowing. God is everywhere all the time. At the same time, God is all-powerful. And yet we value the opinion of these politicians. We value the opinion of these people, these entertainers, and these other people on their social media platforms. We want to be like them. We value the stupid stuff that they're spewing. And we won't get connected with God. We won't see the messages that God is telling us. We can't hear the voice of God. Because we're not connected to God. Because we're looking for God in all the wrong places. Let me say again. We have this saying, man, we're looking for love in all the wrong places. And the truth is, we're looking for God in all the wrong places. We're looking for God in church. We're looking for God in all these preachers. We're looking for God in all these bishops. And God is within you. God is inside of you. Always has been. Always will be. Always will be. We have to grow up. We have to humble ourselves. We have to get connected to God. We have to stop acting like we got this all figured out. Again, I don't care what your religious beliefs are. People have had those same psychotic religious beliefs and have killed thousands and millions. More people have been killed because of religious beliefs than any other thing in the world. None of those people was representing God. They talked God, but they wasn't representing God. You can know every book of the Bible and get up and spew and be charismatic and man, have a great mouthpiece and be and con people out of millions of dollars. Don't mean you're connected to God. Don't mean that you're a voice of God. Doesn't mean you're being used by God. We have to grow up. We have to grow up. We have to understand that, man, God is always giving us signs. Always. Always. We have to stop looking at all these crazy people and blaming God for these foolish, ignorant people who's talking, I'm a God and you're going to hell if you don't believe this, and you're going to hell if you don't do it. Man, that's not God. That ain't never been God. That's never been God. God is within you. God is love. Just because he's love doesn't mean he won't chastise you. I'm going to say that again. Just because God is love doesn't mean he won't chastise you. And what I mean by that, it doesn't mean that just he won't punish you. He won't rebuke you. He won't correct you. Just like as a parent, you love your kids. When your kids start acting up, your kids get out of pocket. Man, you pull them to the side. Man, you fucking up. Man, you tripping, you wigging. Man, and you get them correct. And then after a while, after your kids quote unquote go up, it's like, okay, you got this figured out. You think you know, man, go do you. Go do you. You're going to have to crash and burn. And I'm going to have to sit back and watch you crash and burn because you're an adult now. I can't tell you nothing because you're not receptive to what I'm telling you because you think you got this figured out. You think you know this already. You think you know more about being a man being a man than I do. And I've been here 30 years longer than you. You think you know more about being a woman than I do because you're 15, 16 years old. And I've been here 30 years longer than you. And so as parents, we got to take our hands off our kids and let them go out there and figure this shit out on their own. And that's what God does. And the beautiful thing about God, though, is God keeps sending us signs. He keeps sending us signs. We call them synchronicities. He keeps sending us signs. But because we're not connected to him, we can't hear his voice. Because we're not connected to him, we don't know what he looks like. And he can appear as anything. His voice comes across any way he wants it to come across. But because we're not connected, we don't know his voice. Because we don't spend time with him, we've lost the connection with him. Not because he don't want to be connected with us, but because we don't want to be connected with him. Because we don't remember who we are. We don't remember how powerful we are. We don't remember how wise we are. And so we go out and we do all this stupid stuff. We do all this stupid stuff because we've lost touch with who we are. Because we're lost. Because we're lost. And we're experimenting with life. We're not living life. We're just experimenting. We're trying this. We're trying that. We're trying this. We're experimenting with everything. Trying to find what we like. Trying to find what we resonate with. Trying to find what we're connected to. And we're wasting all this time. And God has said, man, you're longing for me. All the stuff that you're trying, all the stuff that you're experiencing, all the stuff you're experimenting with is because you're longing for me. You have this void, this emptiness within you because you're longing for me. You're longing for connection with me. Not for more dope, not for the next high, not for the great rush. You're longing for a connection with me. That's why we go out and we think, man, driving fast and jumping out of airplanes, although that's fun, man, that's not the rush that we're really looking. We're looking for that connection with God. And so we're looking for it through all these crazy things. And God is saying, I'm here. I'm right inside of you. I'm right here waiting for you to come back home. You're traveling the world looking for me. Elijah, you've gone to all these places looking for me. Elijah, you're reading all these books. You're studying all this stuff. You're listening to all these people and you're looking for me. And that's what the great majority of us done. And that's what the great majority of us, how we've lived our lives. Chasing all these relationships. Chasing after love. Looking for happiness. Looking for joy. Looking for peace. Looking for love. And God has said, man, you already have it. It's within you. You don't know who you are. That's why you don't know that you got love. That's why you don't know that you have peace. That's why you don't know that you have joy. That's why you're not happy. Because you're looking for all this stuff. But it's within you. You already possess it. But you've rejected you. You've rejected how powerful you are. And so you give your power to other people. You've rejected how wise you are. So you're dependent on all the knowledge and the wisdom and the understanding of all these other people. Because you invalidate yourself. You dismiss yourself as being qualified to be having that type of wisdom. You dismiss yourself and invalidate yourself as having that type of power. And so you surrender your voice to those of other people who have more education, who have more knowledge, who have more insight, more experience, and all this other stupid shit. And God is saying, you're already all you need to be. Just come back home. Come back home. Come back to who you really are. Understand who you really are. My people perish for a lack of knowledge. We don't know who we are. We don't know how powerful we are. We don't know how wise we are. We don't know how intelligent we are. We don't know how loved we are. We have no idea. Man. Family. We have to grow up. We have to grow up. You know, it's crazy because since the beginning of time, Plato, Socrates, Aristotle, and before them, the Ethiopians, the Egyptians, and all these other people have always asked, why am I here? Who am I? What's my purpose? All of the ancients have asked these same questions. Whether you want to talk about the Atlanteans, whether you want to talk about the Lemurians, all of these people, the Native Americans, the ancient Asians, all of these people have always asked the same three questions. Who am I? Why am I here? What's my purpose? Family, you're not going to find your purpose. You're not going to find out who you are and why you're here by chasing all this stupid stuff, by being distracted, by being connected to this crazy stuff that's going on out there. Politics isn't going to save you. There's no politician that's going to save you. There's no religious leader that's going to save you. You're going to have to save yourself. And you can only save yourself by going within yourself and being connected, reconnected back to the God within you. And only by being reconnected to the God within you will you discover and understand how powerful you've always been, how wise and intelligent you've always been. You've always been that. You just didn't remember. You just didn't know. You just didn't know. Because you've been so dumbed down, you've been so brainwashed by your family and other people and led to believe that you were powerless, that your voice didn't matter, your opinions didn't matter, that you wasn't smart enough to handle these situations. You didn't have the understanding to grasp and to understand certain things. So leave that to the scientists. Leave that to the politicians. Leave that to the bishops and to the preachers. And just do as they tell you to do. Do as they tell you to do. We have to grow up. We have to pay attention to the signs. Not the signs that all these other people give us. The signs that all these other people give us, they're distractions. They're all distractions. And that's what we focus on. That's the crap that we pay attention to. Pay attention to the signs that God gives you. Pay attention to the dreams that God gives you. Pay attention to the visions that God gives you. Get out in nature and pay attention to nature. Go within and meditate. And learn how to hear and discern the voice of God. Learn how to differentiate between your ego leading you astray, your opinions and your feelings, and God. The great majority of us don't know the difference. And so we're always following our ego, thinking that's God. We're always following our emotions, thinking that's God. We have to grow up. We have to grow up. Man, I know the topics and the things that I talk about aren't popular. You know what I mean? I know it's not easy to digest. You know what I mean? I know it's not easy to grasp and to understand and be like, dang, I want to hear this, because it challenges us. It challenges us to sit back and say, dang, I've been doing this wrong all these years. Man, my grandma who preached all this religious stuff, my grandpa who taught all this stuff, man, although their intention was right, man, they were wrong. You know what I mean? They were wrong. They didn't have the correct information because they were going by the stuff that they were led to believe. And they completely missed the signs of God. They missed it. Man, family, just because people say that they're chosen ones, just because people say they're the star seed or that they're children of God and all this other stuff that they say, man, just because people give themselves these titles, it doesn't mean that's who they are. It doesn't mean that's who they are. It doesn't mean that they're looking out for your best interests. It doesn't mean that they're trying to help you reconnect with God. I say this a lot. The most important thing for us to be trying to figure out right now is reconnecting with God and dealing with our emotions. Dealing with our emotions is us reconnecting with God. Us dealing with our emotions is us improving our spirituality. Us dealing with our emotions and our trauma and our drama and our baggage is our growth and development spiritually. That's us getting closer to God. That's us getting closer to God. That's us reconnecting with God. That's us doing all the hard work, all the difficult stuff, the stuff that you don't hear about at church, the stuff you don't hear about these preachers and these bishops and all these other evangelists. You don't hear them talking about this stuff. We have to grow up. We have to stop depending on all these other people to lead us closer to God. I don't need somebody else to lead me closer to God. You don't need somebody else to lead you closer to God. You already have God. You just don't know it. And you don't know how to seek God, because you've been taught how to seek religion, how to be religious. You haven't been taught how to walk in your power. You haven't been taught how to walk in your purpose. You haven't been taught how to walk in your authority. And that can only come from you being reconnected with God. You going to church don't make you powerful. You going to church don't make you walk in your authority. You going to church and knowing the Bible, and knowing the Quran, and knowing the teachings of Buddha and the Dharma and all that doesn't give you power. That doesn't give you wisdom. That gives you some knowledge, but not the knowledge of who you are. See, we've been taught knowledge. Knowledge is just information. That's all knowledge is. Some knowledge is just useless information. But that's the stuff we get focused on. That's the stuff we get distracted with. Because we know useless information. And we consider that, man, I'm so knowledgeable, I'm so deep, I'm so wise, I'm so profound, and whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. And that has absolutely nothing to do with who we are and why we're here. Man, nobody gives a damn about what your first grade teacher's name was. Nobody gives a damn about who was in your kindergarten class. That's useless knowledge. That knowledge isn't helping anybody with a damn thing. It's knowledge useless. That's not helping you reach your full potential. I don't give a damn about Jay-Z, how many albums he got coming out, Beyonce's next album, P. Diddy's. I don't give a damn about that shit. That's useless information to me. Useless information to me because it doesn't help me in where I'm trying to get. It's not helping me walk in my power. It's not helping me be connected to the God within me. It's not helping me speak the truth. But it's information. Although it's useless information to me. My people perish for a lack of knowledge. That lack of knowledge is who they are. Let me say it again. Because you don't know who you are, you don't know who God is. Because you don't know who God is, you don't know who you are. You can't know who God is without first knowing who you are. I'm going to say it again. The Bible talks about my people perish for a lack of knowledge. Not this useless information that's been spewed all over the place. My people perish for a lack of knowledge of who they are. And because they don't know who they are, they don't know who I am. Because you don't know who you are, you can't know who God is. You can't know who God is until you first learn who you are. And by learning who you are, you discover who God is. By recognizing the power and the wisdom and the insight that God has, you recognize the power, the wisdom, the insight, the knowledge that you have. Because the truth is, you and God are one. You and God are one. But you don't know who you are, so you don't see yourself as that. Man. My hope and prayer. This light's getting crazy over here, but if I could adjust the camera, but that's not helping at all. I thought I could get that glare off, but man, family, my beautiful queen and I pray over each and every one of you every night. If you have any special prayer requests that you would like for us to specifically pray over, man, just put a comment on the feed or go into the YouTube replay and put a comment there. And we'll check those before we go to bed and say a prayer. And we'll check them randomly. And I get notified every time somebody leaves a comment anyway. So if you have something you want us to pray over specifically in regards to your life, just hit us up and let us know. If you don't feel comfortable doing that, leaving it on the platform where it's public, man, just send me an email. You know what I mean? That's in the description. My email's in there. It's ElijahAmmi@gmail.com. Send an email to us and I'll get that and we'll pray over you guys in that capacity. Man, family, thank you for being here on this platform with us. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for all your financial support. Thank you for your prayers. Thank you for your beautiful energy. Thank you for your feedback. Thank you for all the work that you're doing to make this world a more beautiful, a more loving, a more compassionate place. May the God within me bless each and every one of you, because that God within me is the same God that's within you. The power, the wisdom, the knowledge, the understanding that's within me is the same power, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding within each and every one of you. Namaste. The God in me sees, recognizes, acknowledges, and cherishes the God in you, because we're all one and the same. We're all connected. We're all one and the same. Experiencing life differently, different experiences, same God. Different baggage, same God. Same God. I love each and every one of you. My queen and I love each and every one of you. Happy healing. Peace.